DJ Vlad continues to play in people's face.
Come on, dog.
So
come on, man.
Y'all know where I stand with Vlad. I've been very consistent. His recent joke about Roc Nation bribing him to frame Tory Lanez has reignited a firestorm, proving that for Vlad, even high-stakes legal tragedy involving black artists is just another opportunity for engagement. So here's a video of him talking with one of our non-favorite people, DJ Academics, about basically laughing at everyone for even believing this. And then we'll discuss afterwards.
At the end of the day, Tory is an immigrant. No, sorry, not even an immigrant. He is a Canadian citizen that came over to this. At the end of the day, Tory is an immigrant. No, sorry, not even an immigrant. He is a Canadian citizen that came over to this country and shot a U.S. citizen in the foot, and he was convicted of it. I don't think that Gavin Newsom is going to pardon him on any level. He doesn't need Jay-Z or Desiree Perez or even Epstein to try to get him to change his mind. Tory's not going to be pardoned by Gavin Newsom. I even threw in that tidbit at the end. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to make it totally obvious. And Jay-Z even paid off Donald Trump not to pardon Tory, even though he can't actually do it. But, Trump likes to bend the rules. Trump cannot pardon someone in a state case. We both know that. I'm literally just making shit up as I'm typing. The purpose of these tweets is to show people how gullible they actually are. That's the joke. The joke wasn't my tweet. It was the reaction, and I was right. Like so many. This tweet is at over 10 million impressions right now.
I know.
And all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over other social media platforms. It probably has 100 million impressions.
So
he's a clown.
The joy that you hear in his voice.
But I'm not mad. Neither am I. Go ahead.
Can we set the table, bro?
Yeah, we can. That was just quick.
No, I feel you. I'm coming your way. But the joy in his voice with these two goofies, to me, says it all. It's par for the course in terms of who they actually are as people. But I'll go ahead and pose a question, and then Terry, you jump right in. When does trolling cross the line into when does trolling cross the line into the exploitation of a culture you aren't a part of?
See, I feel where you're going with that.
Okay, talk to me.
I kind of feel like we need to read what he posted too at some point during this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I actually brought this up at one point in the show that I want to just put something out there to see how many people believe it. I feel like what he did was crazy. It wasn't cool. It wasn't right, but I'm not mad at it because it just goes to show you how people consume things. They could care less about the truth because as soon as you give them something that's not the truth, if it aligns with what they want to believe, then that's the truth for them. It doesn't matter. I can lead you to the facts, but your opinion trumps the facts. That's why I'm not really mad at it, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a cultural exploitation, so to speak. It's literally the state of the world right now. We could care less about what somebody says as long as it aligns with their belief and what they thought and the crazy shit that they didn't put together in their head. As long as it can align with that, then it's truth to them. Honestly, don't see nothing wrong with that, man.
With great power comes great responsibility.
But nobody's responsible.
There's no money in responsibility.
When everyone is a content creator.
DJ Vlad is different, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lon.
DJ Vlad is arguably the top tier of impressions, up there with academics. To me, this is just highly irresponsible because of exactly what you said, Terry.
He didn't make money off the tweet, though.
I don't care.
Yeah.
He's going to make...
Let me phrase this a different way so that y'all don't think that I'm somebody that actually rocks with Vlad. I think that what he did, like he said, it's a social experiment. People were so fucking dumb. I'm not saying that the things that Vlad does or the things that academics does are okay in my eyes, but this type of exposure, to me, I feel like is warranted. I love seeing how stupid people are. I've literally said this like months ago. I want to just make up some shit and put it online and let people go crazy with it because they're going to do it. They're going to expose themselves and let you know how feeble their minds are. That, well, I was thinking that too, and I know that this is right because he said it. Nobody goes to Vlad for breaking news. You know what I'm saying? As far as this is concerned, nobody pushed back. Everybody was just with whatever was out there and was like feeding it. See, yeah, I knew Tory was this, that, and the other, and Megan did this, and Tory's dad was right. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit, and it was all for nothing. I love that exposure. I love it.
Yeah,
I don't have to like him to love it.
No, I get what you're saying. I try my best to look at it from the perspective of like, sure, I get frustrated with this as well from the perspective of people believing stupid shit on a regular basis. I fall into that as well. But at the same time, I try my best to kind of look at this from the perspective of like, it's not necessarily that I think these people are stupid.
They are.
I think it's the nature of how media is right now and how hard it is to find a verifiable source, how hard it is to, when I saw this came out, I looked at it and I was like, is this real? Is it not real? Like,
first thing I said.
And I was like, the next thing that I said is like, there's no way I could verify this if this was real.
That's why you shouldn't even talk about it until you know that it's legit. And that's the thing. People are foaming at the bits to discuss something before they know if it's real or not. It doesn't matter. As soon as something drops, it can be a news site that has a .tlc at the end of it. And just because they seen what they posted, then they take it as fact. That's on the people. This is literally showing it's idiocracy. It's showing where we are as a society. I can say anything that I want to say, and I can trust that 9 out of 10 people are not going to fact check what I just put out there. They're going to run with it.
What about the fact that both of you are 100% right?
Yeah.
I mean, both of you. Like, brilliant what you've said, Terry, about the fact that we're now living in a time where anybody can say anything, and if it meets their narrative, it is now true. I now have, I've got backup for what I had already formed my opinion to be.
Confirmation bias, essentially.
Thank you. And you're 100% right. You're also saying, though, that you love this as a social experiment because you love it when people are pointed out as stupid. But how many of these stupid people actually changed their minds when he came back and said this was a social experiment?
None of them.
And that's the problem where Lone is 100% right.
Yeah.
Because he knows that even though it's funny to you and it's funny to Vlad, the 99% of the other people who had already had these preformed opinions that were, confirmation bias was there, but that they've glommed onto, they have not stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes dangerous.
Yeah. It's more confirmation than funny. But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
When you have that many followers, are you now responsible for your content?
Because
it becomes dangerous. And so I think both of you are completely right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what Lone is saying at all.
And the sad part is there's nothing we can do to stop it other than point out this is f***ing clown shoes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I mean, maybe sometimes it's hard for people who come from an intelligent, nuanced place to understand, like when you say, oh, look how stupid these people are, because I'm assuming almost sometimes that everybody understands sarcasm and gets the joke. And I forget that there are some people who see anything that's tweeted out or what's the other one, on threads or whatever. These are news sources. Like the other day, and I didn't think anybody would see it because most of the times the things I put on threads, nobody sees. But I talked about how, at one point, and this is something I saw in an interview.
Return of the Jedi?
Yes. And all of a sudden, like that, it says a day later, you've got 1,000 impressions from your opinion about Return of the Jedi and why it's such a mess. To me, like I think that's easily the worst Star Wars movies of all time, but that's another.
Which one?
Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Awful. But but the thing is, I'm going off of something I remember seeing on YouTube a few years ago about what George Lucas's original plans were, but then he got divorced and said he didn't want to do Star Wars movies anymore, and so I made a tweet about that, and people are hitting me up. It was like, that's not true. Post a source and this, that, and the third. I was like, guys, it was just I'm just having a little fun here I'm up and I can't sleep and I want to talk about Star Wars, and it becomes a whole thing. Now here I'm just some guy in Indianapolis talking about Star Wars. Vlad for some people is a news source, which is sad on the people who believe that. But, you know, like I said, I saw it and automatically got the joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not here to. And first of all, he made about Tory Lanez. Of course, I've talked about Tory Lanez and said, yeah, these dirty foreigners coming over here shooting out black queens in the feet. I have no sympathy for him. And no, he's not getting out of jail anytime soon. He should have took the deal. But, you know, once again, nuance and me taking things too far sometimes. But I just think that, like Terry said, it is a weird social experiment when you realize, wow, there are that many people that really believe this and ran with it as a story. And first of all, if these things were true, like, why would you admit to being paid by these people? Like, that's when that's when I knew it was some bullshit automatically.
Look,
because
man, in the last week, Obama has said aliens are real. The Epstein files exist. There's no accountability for any of this shit. And I'm supposed to like not to believe or not believe that Megan really got shot in the foot by Tory Lanez. Number one, I don't care. But with everything that's out there and all the media that is just pressed and constant, you don't know who's a bot, who's not a bot. There's people that are regular people that are posing as influencers and all this. It's extremely easy for anybody to get duped, even by people that are conscious of it. And I'm conscious of this stuff, and I had to do a double take. Like, is this a joke? Is this not a joke?
But
I don't know. Aliens are real. I mean, you know, like,
yeah. But you also didn't jump out of your skin just to say something about it in support of it
and make a video about it.
It made you question. You could have, but I take it, and I know you very well, so you're going to wait till the truth comes out. Everybody knew, again, we're talking about aliens. Everybody knew aliens was out here, man.
Some people are like, no.
It's really very selfish to live on the planet Earth and know that there's a whole universe out there and think this is the only ball that has something living on it. That's crazy.
I just think in general that I think they're a little bit more grace maybe towards the people that exist based upon the world that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
And how crazy it is every single day to wake up and look at I don't know what I'm going to look at when I get up every day. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy.
People woke up and really wanted to run with the fact that Jay-Z's name was in the Epstein files.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, they were ready to get him out of here.
Man.
Wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying, like, Kristaps Porzingis. I'm just saying.
To me, that's the funniest thing.
I'm just saying, like, none of this stuff is surprising, and I think it speaks more to society and how we are kind of been numb to a lot of stuff, and how you know, like, it's how content is moved, it's how things are pushed upon us, it's how, like, you have to be hyper vigilant about sources, and when you say stuff, you know, you talk. Vlad is a news source because he is a YouTuber.
Yeah.
He is somebody who interviews people. He is looked upon by everybody as somebody. I mean, there's nuance there, but everybody as more than just your random person on Threads that's saying some shit.
Or a certain demographic.
We sitting in this room are the same as that for a lot of people. And this is what I've been trying to push on you guys for a long time too, is like people pay attention to the things that we say. And it's important for us to understand that responsibility that comes with that sometimes. You know,
I totally understand that. But in the same token, I'm going to lean on what I believe in. And that shit is made. I might say some shit on the show that's bullshit. And I would hope that the listener would pick up that this is bullshit. He's just around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I need to be in a place to where everything that comes out, people aren't able to decipher what's going on here.
That's fair.
Now,
I operate differently.
Like, finish the sentence, hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah, but see, I operate differently.
Pick up on it or don't.
Like, I operate from the perspective that I need to make sure that I am doing that, unless it's like an obvious joke.
Yeah.
To me, that wasn't an obvious joke.
You're in such the minority.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Because you have a conscience. And
I have a conscience as well.
I'm sorry. And I'm not saying that we don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is you're coming into this as art and not content.
Sure.
Like we were talking about before.
Right.
And you feel a moral obligation to watch what you say and how you say it because of the way that it can be taken.
Sure.
That, you know, you want the comments that you're replying to be about, oh, your opinion sucks or your opinion is great, rather than following up on your spreading rumors, etc. Like I get that.
Yeah.
The at issue here is what are the people doing this for?
Mm-hmm.
And while Vlad might not have been paid from those particular tweets, etc., what he is getting paid for are the analytics
And the engagement. Yeah.
and the engagement. And he got a lot of analytics and engagement from that, so he's going to go sell another ad somewhere.
Vlad told you, but Vlad told you, he showed you. That's why I picked this section of the video.
Yeah.
You saw exactly who he was and who he is by his excitement and joy about this whole shit.
Mhm.
Oh, I got 10 million impressions. That's the whole.
You're right.
That's
there was
the point.
glee.
Yeah, like he's that excited that everybody fell for that just so he can get engagement, which is going to turn into revenue.
And,
Let's remove Vlad out of it.
And he wins.
But the reason I can't remove him is because I know that he has been a person that's been associated with bullshit for years.
That's a good point.
I agree.
Mark.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree, but what I was saying is if we remove Vlad out of this and put us in that seat, I'm with all of those impressions that you weren't able to pick up on the sarcasm.
Right.
I just don't care for Vlad.
Both of you are right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And maybe it ties into each other where you already knew Vlad's a clown.
100%. Academics too. Both of them.
Which means that anybody who is watching that content should just fucking know this.
Come on, man.
As they're reading it. And Terry's point is, if you got caught and you didn't already know, that's on you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like, look, I had a certain level of glee when I got the notification for two things I sent out on Threads, and it's weird because no one ever responds to me on Threads about anything. When I said
Threads.
the thing about,
It's Threads.
I mean, yeah, okay,
It might have been a bot.
yeah, exactly. But when I said the conversation about how we were supposed to get episodes 7, 8, and 9 in the 80s and in the early 90s, and then someone said, ladies, what's the nicest thing you ever did for your man on Valentine's Day? And I replied, just joking. Ladies, please don't be upset. I said, women do things for men on Valentine's Day with a question mark. And like I said, it was just me shot in the dark, just having fun, interacting with people who, it's kind of like the thing. I remember Twitter when it was like just our friends and we could interact and do our thing. And I forget that this goes out to everybody, and there are people who take this shit way too personally.
Yeah, that sounds like a joke to me. I'm just saying.
And so
unless you're just part of the manosphere, Jay.
Yeah, well, that's what it is too.
Maybe there are people who are just already looking through that lens, and you get the confirmation bias.
And I thought it was kind of funny. It's the day after not Thanksgiving. Whatever. What is Valentine's Day?
Valentine's.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Another money grab.
Exactly. And
It's Thanksgiving to some people.
And I'm thinking maybe there might be. I'm thinking my man.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking my man B. Holcomb and a couple other people might see it, and no. And I get a notification like 12 hours later. It's like, you've reached 1,000 impressions. I'm like, oh damn, I didn't think that much of it, because like still to me, social media to a certain extent is fun, and so I don't get that some people still look at this as a news source.
But
because they don't, because nobody reads newspapers or watches
what works,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the craziest thing, I remember there was a few years ago where someone said, rest in peace, Hank Aaron. Mind you, this was like maybe somebody, had to be like, hey, Hank Aaron's still alive. But it's like people just want to be first, and they'd be like, why not? People would believe Hank Aaron's an older person.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do people do shit like that? Like I'm just saying something funny about Valentine's Day. There are people out here on these on Threads or Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, who will literally kill a celebrity just so they can get the engagement.
Hey man, maybe I'll put rest in peace Barack Obama right now. See what that does.
That's terrible. That wouldn't.
Why is that terrible?
Because that's
the
a
Secret
whole
Service
nother
is
different.
still at work.
Yeah.
You might get some people knocking on your door.
People will see that as a threat.
This whole studio will be gone.
Fair enough.
Yeah, cut that out of the
New
show.
Old Heads will not. This show will not exist
don't
anymore.
I think the four of us can help you fill in the blank, but not that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a little excessive, long.
Okay. I mean, that's excessive. Okay.
Now you've crossed the line.
I mean, somebody
But
died
Jay-Z
in that
playing
story.
Vlad.
A president died in that story.
But not really.
Not really, but hey,
You know,
try your luck at
Would
that
it-
one.
would
See
it
how it goes.
would it be really creepy if our phone started getting alerts?
Oh, but I was the police.
like,
Man,
damn, we're not even live right
They'll
now.
come down.
ICE is here. God damn
They'll
it.
tear all this shit up and be like, it's over with for y'all.
Man.
All right,
Well,
man.
all
well,
right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Either way, those
Either
are
way, it's dark on the internet.
yeah,
it is.
Those two idiots.
And if you'd like to talk about Return of the Jedi in more extensive terms, go ahead and hit me up on threads at
I
JM
will. I'll
on
tell
the
you
mic.
you're wrong.
there it is.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
We can't
either,
even
but
start
we can
that.
talk about
yeah,
that
we can't
later.
even start that. Yeah.
Yeah, JM on the mic. Revenge of the Return of the Jedi. It
Yeah.
was supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi, but that's enough. That's more
Yeah.
Star Wars nerd stuff.
Mm.